The Gulf of Mexico, a body of water central to the Americas, found itself at the heart of a naming controversy in early 2025. On assuming office for his second term, President Donald Trump issued an executive order. This order, a cornerstone of his renewed America First agenda, mandated the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This decision, announced in January 2025, immediately ignited a firestorm of reactions, dividing public opinion and setting the stage for a complex debate about national identity, historical precedent, and the role of executive power. The order, according to the Trump administration, was intended to emphasize America's prominence in the region. The Gulf of Mexico, home to vital shipping routes, abundant natural resources, and a coastline shared by 5 U.S. states, has long been considered an American sphere of influence. The name change, in the eyes of its proponents, merely formalized this reality, placing the United States at the center of the geographical imagination. The move, however, was not without its critics. Opponents, both within the United States and internationally, argued that the renaming was a unilateral and unnecessarily provocative act. The historical weight of the name Gulf of Mexico further complicated the issue. Derived from the Aztec Empire's heartland, the name predates the arrival of Europeans and speaks to the region's rich and diverse tapestry of cultures. Changing it to prioritize a single nation's identity, critics argued, amounted to historical erasure and a disregard for the region's complex past. Despite these concerns, the Trump administration remained steadfast in its decision, arguing that the new name reflected America's economic, political, and military dominance in the 21st century. The stage was set for a protracted battle over not just a name, but the very essence of America's relationship with its neighbors and its own history. The Gulf of America controversy quickly transcended the realm of mere semantics, becoming a lightning rod for broader anxieties and divisions within American society. It tapped into debates about American exceptionalism, the country's role on the global stage, and the legacy of colonialism and its impact on naming conventions. The renaming of the Gulf, while seemingly a geographically isolated issue, became a microcosm of America's struggle to reconcile its self-image with its place in a rapidly changing world. The impact of President Trump's executive order was immediate and far-reaching. Within days, the Federal Aviation Administration announced its decision to adopt the name Gulf of America in its official charts and maps, a move that sent ripples through the aviation industry and beyond. This decision, while presented as a technical adjustment to align with the executive order, carried significant symbolic weight. It signaled the federal government's commitment to enforcing the name change and set a precedent for other agencies and institutions to follow suit. In Florida, a state with a long coastline along the Gulf, the renaming effort gained further momentum. State Senator Nick DeSegli, a Republican representing Pinellas County, introduced a bill in the Florida legislature that would mandate the use of Gulf of America in all official state documents and communications. DeSegli, a staunch supporter of President Trump's agenda, argued that the name change was not only about reflecting America's dominance in the region, but also about fostering a sense of national pride and unity. The proposed legislation in Florida, however, faced criticism from those who saw it as an unnecessary and divisive measure. Opponents argued that changing the name of a body of water would do little to address the state's real problems, such as climate change, healthcare, and education. They also pointed out the potential economic costs associated with updating maps, signage, and official documents to reflect the name change. Despite the controversy, the Gulf of America label began appearing on maps and in media reports with increasing frequency. Google Maps, the world's most popular navigation app, updated its platform to reflect the new name, albeit with a disclaimer noting that the change was disputed. This digital alteration, while seemingly minor, had a profound impact on public perception. For many Americans, seeing the name Gulf of America on their phones and computers solidified the reality of the change, regardless of their personal views on the matter. The renaming of the Gulf had moved beyond political rhetoric and into the realm of everyday life, forcing people to confront the implications of this seemingly symbolic act. The proposed renaming of the Gulf of Mexico did not go unnoticed on the international stage. The United Kingdom, a long-standing ally of the United States, made it clear that it would not be adopting the new nomenclature. This decision, while presented as a matter of cartographic consistency, was interpreted by some in the U.S. as a snub and a sign of waning international support for American leadership. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican known for her fiery rhetoric, took to social media to condemn the UK's stance, accusing the country of disrespecting American sovereignty. Greene's comments, while reflective of a segment of the American population, did little to ease diplomatic tensions. The Gulf of America controversy, initially a domestic issue, had spilled over into the realm of international relations, highlighting the potential for such symbolic acts to strain alliances and create unnecessary friction. Within the United States, the proposed name change continued to be a source of division and derision. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat and frequent critic of President Trump, publicly mocked the idea, suggesting that Lake Michigan be renamed Lake Illinois in a similar vein. Pritzker's comments, while intended as satire, underscored the partisan nature of the debate and the difficulty of finding common ground on an issue so closely tied to national identity and political ideology. The Gulf of America controversy laid bare the deep fissures within American society. It highlighted the country's ongoing struggle with its own history, its role in the world, and the very meaning of American identity. The renaming of a body of water, a seemingly trivial matter, became a proxy for much larger and more intractable issues, reflecting the polarization and lack of consensus that characterized American politics in the early 2025s. As the Gulf of America controversy raged on, it became increasingly clear that the debate was about far more than just a name on a map. It touched upon fundamental questions about American identity, the country's relationship with its neighbors, and the power of language to shape our understanding of the world. For proponents of the name change, the Gulf of America represented a bold assertion of American dominance and a rejection of what they perceived as excessive political correctness. It was a way to reclaim a sense of national pride and to put America first, both literally and figuratively. For opponents, the renaming was seen as an act of historical erasure, a disregard for the region's diverse cultural heritage, and a sign of American arrogance on the world stage. They argued that true leadership stemmed not from imposing one's will on others, but from fostering collaboration and understanding. The Gulf of America controversy exposed a rift in American society, a fundamental disagreement about the country's values and its place in the world. It forced Americans to confront uncomfortable truths about their history, their identity, and their vision for the future. The debate also highlighted the power of place names to shape our understanding of history and geography. Names carry weight, evoking emotions, memories, and associations that transcend mere cartographic designations. Changing a place name, particularly one as historically and culturally significant as the Gulf of Mexico, is not a neutral act. It is a deliberate attempt to reshape the narrative, to prioritize one perspective over others, and to assert a particular vision of the world. The Gulf of America controversy, while seemingly a localized dispute over a body of water, had far-reaching implications. It served as a microcosm of larger debates about national identity, historical memory, and the role of the United States in a globalized world. The outcome of this controversy, regardless of whether the name change ultimately sticks, will have lasting consequences for how Americans view themselves, their country, and their place in the world.